And just look at this. We have finally managed to get here, and it is Mfumo and Amber Eyes. And I'm just going to be quiet for a moment because Amber Eyes is contact calling, and I'm hoping she's going to do it again for us. Come on, girl. And it was a good chance, or there is a good chance, that Michael, we're going to get the answer to your question in sort of the flesh, so to speak, because you wanted to know why it is we never see the females roar. The two of them were roaring their heads off while I was on my way here, making such a noise. I'm just waiting to see whether or not they start doing it again. Obviously, yesterday, and there was good evidence that Amber Eyes was coming into estrus with the male blocking her constantly. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember now. But it seems as though... There we go. Cool. There we go. Male and female calling together, and it gives you a nice idea of the difference between a male and a female roar, and there's actually very little of a difference. Her call's slightly shorter and perhaps not quite as bassy, but otherwise the two of them are actually relatively hard to distinguish, especially at a distance. The male lions will just travel that little bit further because they're bigger and therefore it is deeper. And those amazing sounds are made by what's known as the suspensorium in the animal's voice box, or their larynx. That essentially, in most of us, like human beings, it's relatively calcified. If you put your hand on your neck, your voice box, your larynx is, you can feel a relatively solid hyoid bone of your trachea, and your voice box is solid. In lions, those voice boxes are relatively loose and floppy, which allows them to massively expand and create those incredible sounds. Isn't that just goosebump stuff? There is nothing like the sounds of lions roaring first thing in the morning. The sun just starting to peek out. You can see they're starting to go that golden color, and we're treated to the best dawn chorus in the world. And for those of you that had to wake up to sounds of the city this morning, sounds of sirens and traffic, I hope this is a sound that transports you right to the middle of Africa. There is nothing like it. And we're so lucky to have... I actually like to dedicate that female's roar to Michael, because that was such an appropriately timed question. Well done, Michael. Heads up. Seen something? What's there, boy? He's seen or he's heard something. Could be impala moving off in the bushes. Such a beautiful morning. Now, I have made Gert's life a little bit difficult because I'm directly facing one of the other safari vehicles. So he won't be able to come back onto my face just because we can't actually show the faces of the guests in any great detail. Well, you can imagine, you wouldn't want to be on a safari all of a sudden the camera was on you. Morning, guys. Thanks, Rex.
I want to check here.
Okay, you're going to go see what's up, what they're looking at. Cheers, guys. Such an awesome sound. Love that sound. And I'm hoping it's not going to be the last of it. It's a nice, cool morning, so there's a good chance that they're going to start to call again. They might even start mating at some point in the not too distant future. Let me duck out of your way. The amber-eyed female, probably the most distinctive of the Nkuhuma pride. For those of you that are perhaps new to these live safaris, she's part of a pride known as the Nkuhuma pride, a very special pride of lions that we get to see. And she is accompanied by one of 4 dominant males in this area known as Mfumo, the authority. And he certainly was very authoritative when he started calling. Oh, Dale, a very good morning to you and welcome to the Sunrise Safari. Dale, you want to know about the names of the Birmingham boys because you've only been watching for 8 days. Well, it's lovely to have you on board, Dale, and I look forward to answering many of your questions and your comments in the future. You wanted to know about the names of the Birmingham boys and what they are. Dale, we've, at Wild Earth and at Safari Live, in order to connect people to these incredible animals, we have actually given them certain names. The first of which is Nsugu. He is the oldest, and his name means gold. Now, Nsugu we hardly ever get to see. He's the oldest of the Birmingham boys, and he's also known as Birmingham number 1 or Blondie, depending on where you're reading the things. Nena is the second. Hold on, she's gonna yawn. Oh, don't. Sorry, Dale, I'll be with you in a second. Our stations, these Ngala, and our mobiles straight west into the block. I don't know if anybody can hear me. Okay, let's stay with them. Sorry, Dale. Nena, the second of the Birmingham boys. His name means warrior. They're going west into the block, sort of towards that Shkova between Philemon's and that Rebecca's Road. The third Birmingham boy is known as Tinyo because he has a massively split lip that shows his canine tooth. His top lip is split. It has healed up nicely, but at one stage we could see straight through his lip even when his mouth was closed, and we could see his tooth, and we don't know where he got that injury from, but as with all male lions, they come with injuries. And then this gentleman here, whose name is Mfumo, which means the authority, because he is one of the largest of the Birmingham boys. I think he's the largest. He's definitely a very dominant member of this coalition. So he has been nicknamed the Mfumo. There's something running. Oh, it's Impala. Hold on a second. We're going to get a good view. They're going to keep walking. I'm going to try and stick with them. And I do have to just pull over to let Tax come through ahead of me, just because he hasn't had a chance to see them, and it's going to go into a very thick area. He's showing signs of dominance, stopping to rub his cheek upon a guarri bush and then scent mark using his urine spray before he follows on behind the amber-eyed female, not letting her get out of his sight at all. Now, male courting a female that's coming into estrus is a very, very protective force. He basically doesn't let her go anywhere without his express supervision and permission, sometimes even denying her food when they are next to a carcass, and he gets very aggressive even when it comes... Sorry, there's other lions roaring now. She's trying to get to the rest of the pride, and he's just going to keep blocking her. They can even be aggressive towards their own cubs at times. If the cubs are going near their females. Sorry, hold on everybody. I need to do some chattering on the Game Drive channel to the other guides so that we can communicate what's happening here and coordinate our search and sort of suspicions as to what these lions are going to do next. So while we do that, let's go back over to Brent. Brent continues on his way to the east. Our lions are going in exactly the opposite direction, to the west. And they've just stumbled upon a herd of impala that are frantically alarm calling at them. Hold on a moment, let's get closer. They were nice and out in the open, but the Amber Eyes is very much on a mission this morning. And he's just following along until she decides to mate with him. Amber Eyes was actually watching the impala intently. She really wanted breakfast, but unfortunately with the male in tow, he's making her life very, very difficult. Constantly watching her, constantly blocking her movement. When she tries to move quickly, he bolts after her aggressively. There's nothing she can do about obtaining breakfast for the both of them. She's just going to have to, wait until this is all over and until perhaps the rest of the pride catches another meal for them. It's not impossible for mating cats to get food, to hunt, but often they are so distracted that they don't necessarily bother. I'm trying to think how we're going to cross this drainage line. It's going to be a tricky one. I'm going to stay with the lions so that Taxon can cross. Look at the impala. Running after, just like they did with the lions. With the leopards the other day. Running after them to make sure they can still see them. Because they don't want the lions to... Oh! I think Amber Eyes ran at them. Maybe even the male protectively ran at them. Yep, it was Amber Eyes. She just wants breakfast. Now the impala work on the very valid assumption that they are faster than a lion. As long as they have enough distance between them and the lion itself, they will be okay. So rather watch and see where the lion is so that you can make sure that she's not hunting you, which all makes complete sense if you're an impala. It's not the lion you see that gets you, that sort of logic. Although Amber Eyes, I think, just had a jolly good try. Sorry, girl. They all know you're there. And your male friend is... Look at that. Not often you see lionesses spraying back into bushes, into guarri bushes. They do it. But it just goes to show what sort of a hormonally heavy moment this is between the male and the female. The fact that she is scent marking, which we don't often see the lionesses do, but she's scent marking just like a male. Lifting her tail up and spraying backwards into the trees. There they go. And Julia, you've heard that there are reports that Amber Eyes is 6 years old and has never had cubs. And is this true? I believe it is. I believe that to be the case. Obviously, because I have only been working here for a year, I have to go off the reports of others. But that is what I have heard. That's the information we've been given. So yes, it is. It seems to be true from what I've heard. Ooh, grasshopper just landed on me. I'll try and find it for you in a moment. Oh no! The end of the road! As to why that is, well, there's a chance that she is infertile. There's a chance that she just hasn't been very fortunate with her cub upraising or upbringing. Oh dear. How brave are you feeling this morning, Gert? Very. Very. That's a good answer. You and I have a mission. We got to get down here. Hold on, everybody. I think we can do it this way. Amazing what these little cars can get us through. going to try. Oh, this could be a potential sticking point. Just this little gully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it easy. Tax is with them now. So I wonder what lives in there. Sorry, distraction. Something lives in there. Aardvark, maybe. Okay, hold on. I think this is the only way we're going to get through. Hold on. Whee! And we're up. And we're out. And Quarry Bush, down you go. So for our... Ouch. Just fighting back. For our new viewers, just so you know, we're very, very careful, which is why you'll see us bob and weave around. We're very careful about the trees that we drive over. We only drive over certain species, and we drive over the young ones that will pop back up. So that guarri bush that I just went over, I checked behind me, it's sprung right back up, and it's absolutely fine. Right, where have you two gone? Phew. Right, so back to Amber Eyes. I don't know, it's peculiar, isn't it? Oh, hold on. It is odd if it is true that she has never had cubs, but she might also, bear in mind the mortality rate can be so high, she might just have had cubs at the most unfortunate times. During takeovers, for example, she might just have never been successful in raising them. I don't know what the reason is. Now, it's not just us out and about, but of course Byron is now up and he is out on foot. Let's go and see what he's up to. Guys, I'm very sorry. Hold on 1 second. I need to talk to Rexon. Rex, I'm sorry. Please go again with that message. Sorry. Just bear with me. Copy that. Thank you very much, Rex. I'm on my way. Sorry, everybody. Brent, if you're closer, I'm happy for you to go. Otherwise, yes, I will. We're just about to hit Philemon's cut line now. We've crossed that drainage. Okay, copy, Brent. You go. You go. Sorry, everybody. Obviously, Byron didn't have any signal, and unfortunately, you crossed to me just as I really had a conversation that I had to have, because Rexon has found another big cat for us. Hence the debate between the two of us, between Brent and myself, as to who should go there and who is closer. So we're about equidistant, but because I'm with the lions, we're going to send Brent across towards where Rexon is. Oh, and sorry, Rebecca, I turned you right down so I could hear. Sorry. Amber Eyes, where are we going? Okay, I'm just going to let Brent handle that. Figure out directions. Where are you going, my girl? She's missioning. Now she's leading us back towards the drainage system. I know, Kat, I know. Watch out. Now, Eileen, you wanted to know if it's possible that the Birmingham boys have split into two separate coalitions, because we haven't seen them together in a long, long time. And the answer is no, that's actually relatively common for a male coalition, particularly a relatively big coalition. So the Matimbas were often together, almost always. They might separate for a few days, but they always came back and rejoined. But with the Matimbas and with other large male lion coalitions, they often do that. Once they've established themselves, and when they've got a big territory, it just makes sense for them to split themselves up. Now, I'm not quite sure exactly how they go about doing it. Nobody is. Is it tight bonds between males? Perhaps it seems likely that it's age-related, brothers that might split up. Or is it just coincidental? Is it just a random turn of affairs? But it is... Morning, lions. Sorry about this. It is very common for this to happen, for this to occur within male coalitions. So no, I don't think they've split up at all. They will probably stay separate for most of the time. The only time the four of them might come back, might join up again. Every now and then they might join up, come back together. The last time all four of them... How's your view there, Gert? A little bit forward. There we go. The last time we saw all four of them at sort of separate times, they weren't all together, but they were in the same place, was when James was in the Mara, one of those first nights that he was in the Mara. The times that they will come together to show their full strong strength will be if another coalition starts to move into the area. So if there is a threat to their boundaries, then they will reunite once again. And who knows what these lions get up to in the middle of the night? And that might sound like a weird thing to say, but a male lion can walk easily 20 kilometers, 30 kilometers in a night without even thinking about it. So they could be, and judging by the tracks, they do patrol regularly. They could be walking all the way to Cheetah Plains, having a little bit of a head rub, a nuzzle, a reunion, and then go off their separate ways again. So I don't think that they have split. There might be an additional level of conflict between the two and the two, especially over a female in estrus. But for now, they've each got a pride apiece, and they don't need to worry too much about mating rights, just with each other. Right. So while we settle down with these lions and wait to see what they get up to, let's try again with Byron so he can try and say good morning to you. Well, this morning our big cats are leading us all over the show, but luckily your timing is perfect because we're going to have a really, really beautiful view in a second. Just have a look at this. And stop here for now just to give you an idea of just how stunning this moment is now. We're going to be leaving these lions, I think, in the not-too-distant future. I've heard a report coming through from Cheetah Plains, so I might be ducking off in that direction in the not-too-distant future. But for now, we have this incredible view of the lions in the golden sunlight. She's sought refuge on top of a termite mound. Shame girl. Now, apparently, I've just heard that somewhere to the west of us, so probably either on Arathusa or Simbambili, which are two of the properties to the west of us, the Nkuhumas have killed something. They have a kill. I don't know what it is. It's probably a buffalo, just statistically, in terms of the Nkuhumas, and that's where she's trying to go. She's just constantly pushing west until he stops her, at which point she lies down. And then she carries on again. As soon as he starts to really settle, she continues to move. But he's just blocking her at the moment. Amber Eyes, the one thing I must say that I'm so thrilled, this is the first time I've properly seen Amber Eyes moving in quite a long time. And I must say I'm absolutely thrilled to see how much better she's looking. There was one moment a couple of days ago where I was particularly concerned about her and the other lioness, just in terms of their ability to walk and the way in which they were struggling. Their back legs were floppy. The males have been absolutely fine. Mfumo has been totally strong since his face healed up, but Amber Eyes was not. And it's really wonderful to see that whatever they ate obviously did them the world of good. One of those buffalo clearly had what they needed and what they were missing from their diet, because she's back up and walking perfectly, which is very, very good to see. Hey, Amber, you okay again, my girl? Yes. I don't think she's going to stop moving until the time comes that she reaches the rest of the pride. And she will continue to try and push him in that direction. Sometimes lionesses are not successful in getting back to their pride until they've finished their estrus cycle or their mating with the males, but sometimes they are, and then what will happen is she'll try and go and greet the rest of the pride. He'll keep blocking her. Sometimes there's a little bit of a skirmish or a fight between the members of the pride and the male, and they get frustrated with him. He gets frustrated with them. He's very protective over the female that he's with. And as I said earlier this morning on the Sunrise Safari, to the point that he might even attack one of the females for getting too close. But hopefully it is a peaceful reunion, and it just progresses in the way that it always has done. Right, now that we've had a chance to get the view, let's go a little bit closer. We've been through some interesting vegetation, and it's been a while since I've been as relieved as I am that Wendy's tyres are new. Otherwise we might be hopping off and changing a tyre, but I think we're going to make it through just fine. It was sicklebush country. Sicklebush is a type of tree with a very solid thorn. It's actually not a thorn, it's called a spine, because it's a modified branch and therefore is much more solid than a thorn. And it can be a flat tyre central moving through an area like this, but I think we've been successful. Hello, my girl. And you too, boy, but mainly Amber Eyes, because I'm relieved to see that she's okay. Happy? Awesome. Hey, gorgeous. You're looking very regal on the top of your termite mound there. Now, Beck, on the subject of our very glamorous lioness, she looks like she's all set up for a photo shoot, the way that she's lying. You want to know if Amber Eyes is the oldest of the lionesses? She's not. There is one other lioness that is older than Amber Eyes, and that is, from what we understand, I mean, as I said, I haven't been here, so I can't speak from first-hand experience, but they are all the daughters or the relatives of the one oldest female of the Nkuhumas. She is, if you've been watching, I don't know how long you've been watching for, Beck, and I must say a very warm welcome. Beck, if you've been watching over the last few weeks, the oldest female has a broken tipped canine. She's missing the tip of one of her canines. She's got a very dark black nose, and she is the mother of the middle set of cubs. She is the oldest of the lionesses in the Nkuhuma pride, and quite a relatively easily recognizable one. We have followed the progress. So the Nkuhuma pride as it stands consists of that oldest female, Amber Eyes, two youngish females that are probably sisters with the dotty noses. They are the other two mothers of the current set of cubs. And then one young lioness that has only just reached sexual maturity now. So she's only recently in the last few months started to mate. Now that's the Nkuhuma pride. Plus, of course, there's 6 surviving cubs. He's snoozing away quite happily. Not concerned about moving anywhere. He's just biding his time until she's ready. And they could be like this for quite a while now. It's not too hot though this morning. And we'll just have to wait and see whether or not they decide to keep moving. She's definitely trying to get to the rest of the pride. And it's amazing how they always know exactly where they are, or at least where the others are, in terms of their movements. She knows where the rest... They must have been roaring, and we just weren't quite able to hear it from where we were. Her scar on her shoulder's healed up. A little bit earlier, we saw the two of them roaring, and the big male, she was sort of sitting upright, but the big male was roaring with his head up, and then he flopped down onto his side. And we see them do that regularly. Virginia, you want to know if the lion's roar travels further if the lion is lying flat on the ground. That's the theory, yes. The idea is that it sort of bounces off the ground, and that it travels through the ground, and that it helps it to travel further, and that is why the lions often roar lying down. It's the theory. It's not 100% proved to be exactly the case. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I suppose the people who've come up with that theory have been studying for many years and are probably much cleverer than myself, so it's probably true. I don't know, though. To me, a roar sounds louder just from my own ears when the lion's standing up. That being said, I've got human ears, don't I? And I'm not necessarily capable of picking up some of the lower frequency sounds and the softer sounds that perhaps lions in other areas would be able to pick up upon. We do know that their roar, regardless, will travel several kilometers. On colder days, it'll travel further. On warmer days, slightly less. I wonder if they know that, or if they just roar. I think they probably just roar. And through this morning's various vocal activities, he will know exactly where the other members of his pride are, even if we don't. Ooh, it's so tentative. Maybe not. Just checking you're still here. Just making sure that you haven't snuck off while I wasn't looking. But not quite brave enough to risk a smack in the face. And they do often get smacked in the face, the male lions, when they are slightly too forward. Ellen, you want to know if it was normal what we heard earlier, just in terms of the male and the female contact calling together. It is. Lions also follow the same sort of instinctive approach that something like a babbler might, which is a type of bird, it's basically where as soon as one starts, the others will continue. And I don't think we've ever had a sighting. She's roaring because she wants to know where the rest of the pride is. He's roaring because she roared, essentially, and it would work the other way around as well. So if he started roaring to contact call to his buddies as part of the coalition, or as a territorial announcement, or both at the same time, she would join in as well. Now, you never are in a situation where lions start to roar and one of them or two of them just sit there going, I don't really feel like it this morning. I think I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. As soon as one starts, they will continue to call. And there might be a minute or two gap in between, but most of the time it's almost immediately afterwards. One will start, the next will go, the next will go, in a sort of a chain reaction. And as I described earlier this morning, that instinct extends to the cubs as well. So they know they're meant to be joining in. They don't quite have the size or the voice box development just yet to really give it there, but they do give it their all. They do try very hard. It's adorable. And Janine, you want to know how you pronounce the name of the male. Amber Eyes, of course, is a relatively simple one, but the male's name, Mfumo, for our new viewers, Mfumo, Mfumo is the name of this particular male. So Mfumo, the authority. Love that name. It has such a ring to it, and it sounds like a lion's roar as well, unintentionally, but it kind of, to me, Mfumo. Don't you think? Flop. Are you still there, Amber? Are you ready yet? Can I mate yet? Yes? No? No. Not quite ready. I just had such a serious deja vu moment. It was so weird. I don't know where it came from. Some strange memory of sitting in here with lions, this exact termite mound. It must have been months ago. It could even have been over a year ago. but I just had a really seriously strong sense of deja vu. That or my brain just skipped a beat and got confused, but I just, something's tingling in the back of my mind. And our sightings do occasionally, apart from the ones that really stand out, our moments in time kind of blend into a mixture of things, and we never know exactly when something happened, or we know exactly where we were, but we just don't remember exactly when it happened or what exactly was going on at the time. I'm going to need to chat a little bit on the Game Drive channel, so while I do that, let's go over to Byron and see how his morning stroll is treating him.